flaky pastry, plenty of flavour and a little bit of tomato sauce, you'll be in heaven. I'm Shuey, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make these Aussie sausage rolls. And yes, we're smoking them in a Weber. Just sit back, grab a drink or two and let's get into it. So, what's going to make these sausage rolls more Aussie than the normal sausage roll? Koala meat, obviously. It tastes so good. Now settle down, that was only a joke. You can't even really taste it. Now to start off, we need to take a couple of sheets of puff pastry out of the freezer. And we're just going to let them thaw out for about 10 or 15 minutes. You know what? I think this would be a great time to like the video. It's now time to start making the mixture or the filling for our sausage rolls. So to start off, we're just going to put a little bit of olive oil into a fry pan. And then we're going to add some grated onion. We're just going to fry that off for a couple of minutes. Because it's grated, it doesn't take long. After a couple of minutes, we can add some bacon. And we're only going to cook this for about 2 minutes as well. We don't want it crispy, we just want to get a little bit of colour on it. After the bacon's been in there for a couple of minutes, we can add some garlic. And just stir that around for about 30 seconds to a minute. And then just take it off the heat, and we're just going to put it into a bowl and allow it to cool off for about 10 or 15 minutes. Pretty easy so far. And it doesn't really get much harder than this. Once the mixture is cooled, we can add more ingredients like pork sausage meat, grated carrot, panko breadcrumbs, black pepper, and 1 egg. Now this is where we get our hands dirty, or you can put some gloves on. Either way, we've got to mix that up thoroughly. Once mixed up, we can add some mozzarella cheese and some good old Vegemite. Make sure it's at room temp. And now just work the Vegemite and the cheese through the mixture as well. Now don't worry if you don't like the taste of Vegemite, you actually can't taste it. You might have noticed in the main mixture, I only put pepper and there's no salt. That's because Vegemite gives us a nice umami boost in flavour. And it's what makes these sausage rolls Aussie. Our puff pastry is thawed out now, so we can cut the sheets in half, and this is going to give us 4 sheets at 25 centimetres by 12.5 centimetres. Now just grab 1 egg and beat it up, then just brush some egg down one long side of each piece of pastry. And then you just want to separate the mixture out into 4 even pieces and laying it in the log shape down the length of each piece of pastry. Then just roll the sausage rolls up, and you want the seam at the bottom. And that egg wash is going to hold it together. Now just put these on a baking paper lined tray and pop that into the fridge. Now while I have you here, it'll be a good time to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell button while you're at it. That bell button is going to allow you to be notified every time I upload new content. Today I'm going to be using a 57 centimetre Weber kettle, and I'm going to be pairing it up with a charcoal basket because I want to be cooking at temps of 180 degrees Celsius today. Now how I'll do that is by filling up a charcoal basket with briquettes, and I'll dump that into a chimney. And then I'll grab another 8 briquettes and throw that in as well. I'll light that up, and once they're all ashed over, I'll dump them into the charcoal basket on one side of the charcoal grate. I'll put the grill back in, and I'll put the lid on, making sure all the vents are wide open. I'm going to give that 10 minutes to warm up. By adding that extra 8 briquettes, we can reach our target temp of 180 degrees Celsius. A normal flat charcoal basket filled with briquettes generally going to get us a temp between 150 to 170 degrees Celsius. The barbecue is ready, so we've grabbed our sausage rolls out of the fridge. By putting them in the fridge, they've hardened up a little bit, and it's going to make them easier to cut into 4 separate little sausage rolls. And using a sharp knife, it's quite easy. Just cut them, and also just to allow some steam to come out, just put a couple of little slits on top of each one. And then just transfer these to a baking paper lined tray. Now just brush them all with some egg wash. We're just going to pop them in the Weber on the opposite side of our fuel, and we're going to put in a chunk of applewood as well. Put the lid back on to make sure the vent is over our sausage rolls, and we'll come back and check them in 25 minutes. By positioning that lid vent over our food, we're going to ensure the smoke and heat is drawn over our meal. Today I'm cooking at temps of 180 degrees Celsius and above. All up, including the frying time, our cook's going to take anywhere from 30 to 35 minutes for these sausage rolls to be reading 74 degrees Celsius internally. Or for those of you who like to use my beer timer, We snuck past the 30-minute mark, so this is a 2-beer cook. Even if it was a 1-beer cook, we all know you were going to sneak another one in. Our sausage rolls have been smoking away for 25 minutes, so it is time to check them. What we are looking for is a food safe temp of that mince to be 74 degrees Celsius internally. So just check them, and I'm going to give them another 5 minutes. They just need to come up in temp a little bit more. And they are done. We're just going to get them off the heat and let them cool for a little bit before we eat them. Now, to have a sausage roll without tomato sauce on it, that should be illegal. As always, cheers for watching.